Hello, welcome. Should be a quick video for this one. It's a HURET SVELTO, made in France, probably from the early 60s. It's very simple in design. A lot of the parts here have been they're kind of riveted or stamped, and they can't be removed from the looks of it, except for this part here that's connecting the cage with the main body. I don't know if we call this a parallelogram body. Anyway, it seems a bit floppy, probably dirty, so it needs to be cleaned. I don't know how much I'm going to clean it, but I can see right there that this is bent, so we're going to need to bend that back as well. Let's begin. There's a spring right there for the kind of the arms to swing, so we're going to pop that off quickly. And normally you should be able to just take that off really easily. I want to remove that little bit of cable that's left over. And I think we're going to just undo this actually. Clean underneath it. Let's remove the number 9 nut here, which is uniting the body and the pulley cage. And at the back there's a flat-headed bolt that comes off anti-clockwise. So we have this very sorry looking spring that looks like it's nearly twisted out of shape. Was it me? There's a bushing. We can push this one out. We're going to need to undo this bolt, number 9 again. Before I forget this, there's a spacer here with a hole in it. I'm gathering that hole's for the spring. Here there's number 13 to take off. I think it's going to be anti-clockwise, but we'll find out. And in here there's a ball bearing, so I'm not going to take them out straight away because I don't want to lose them. I want to keep everything together. I'll remove them when I'm cleaning. Oh, and on this end as well there was a space of a tiny hole in it, and it seems to go adjacent with this other hole on the main body. I'm going to remove this to see if it's worth, because it looks kind of bent, and if it is bent, this derailleur is essentially not worth keeping after I've cleaned it up for the video. No, it looks okay actually. It's coming off. There you go. And while we're at it, let's take off the other limit screw. Great. There is this 9 bolt that can be removed, but I don't think we're going to bother doing that for this. And that's globally everything. Mostly just dirt on this, so I think I'm going to stick this into some soapy water and leave it overnight. And yeah, I think that'll be it really.
Possibly 4 or even 5 weeks later now, since I first started filming on this derailleur. We're finally going to finish it. I completely forgot about it, and I put it in a glass jar with some soap and water for cleaning, and yeah, it completely evaded my mind. And then my wife asked me what did I want to do with this pot full of rusty metal parts, and so everything had dried up, and it actually become very well. All the parts have probably oxidized a little bit more now than they were initially, but that should be rectified. We're going to put a bit of grease on it. So let's finish this, and then I can finally put this back into the bike recyclery where I took it from. For the ball bearings inside the little pulley or jockey wheel, I've just quickly put some WD-40 to give them a good clean. That should do it, and the grease will sort out the rest. So let's put this grease on. I'm going to be using the marine grease I've got. It's quite good on rusty, very rusty parts. There's type of cone that goes on one side, and then you'll have this other one that's going to thread into the other cone, and then it's also going to thread into the jockey wheel cage. So let's thread this in. See how that feels. Maybe a bit too hard. Now that part there is going to go into the jockey wheel cage, which by the way I've reshaped. It was slightly bent, and now it's not. There. Now you'll need number 13 to adjust the tightness. Oh, that feels quite nice actually. You know what? I started to thread that in. I just noticed this part here is also bent. It's not flat. If you look there, so I'm going to knock that in with a hammer. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was before. So now we can re-thread that back in. Now threading's not completely aligned, so we're gonna have to force it a little bit. Okay. So you'll see there's an uneven gap still, but I think it will be okay like this. And this is the other jockey wheel. Okay. So let's put the jockey wheel on this side, and we then have the other cage plate, and there's going to be a bolt that's going to go through there. Let's put a bit of grease on that. Stick it through. And if I remember, that was a number 9 bolt. Then grab this bolt and it will go through this side. Like so. I believe there was a barrel. There like that. We then got the spring, and there'll be these two thin metallic plates that go on top of each other, and there's a little hole, so that other tip, that spring is going to go into, well, these are going to sit on top of the spring, but they're going to, the little tip of that spring is going to go into the holes there. And we're going to screw that threading part into here, and we also want that tip of that spring that's still passing through those two plates to go into the little hole there. Okay, looks like I've got it into the little hole, and now I can finish screwing down. I just noticed this screw here you need to not over tighten, because then this will not move anymore. We're going to have another nut going onto the other end here. So you want it obviously with no play, but you want it loose enough to function. So then mine looks nice and smoothish, so that should do it. So now I'm going to put the nut on the other end, and that essentially secures it. Okay, that looks good. Now we need to put the spring for the kind of parallelogram type cage thing. So this end of the spring is going to hook underneath there, and the coiled part's going to need to latch on to go onto there. And now we need to tension it up, and we're going to stick it underneath that part there. Okay, got it. I just put a bit of WD-40 between all of those parts that pivot. They were a little bit stiff, and since I'd left them in that water, it's not improved. So by doing that now, I can really feel it's a lot better. And now we've just got the final parts to do. So there's our anchor bolt. And the limit screws. Well, that's done finally. Yeah, nice, simple, cool looking derailleur, the HURET SVELTO. So thank you for listening, and I hope this was somehow helpful. And until next time for another derailleur, shifter, or whatever there is, peace out.